to
see you again.
You too.
And while people are joining, obviously they get the alerts and they see that we're live and they can join us. So while people are joining, where are you just now? You're on holiday at the moment?
I am. I arrived in Cornwall today, this afternoon. So I'm down in a little village called St Buryan, which is near St Just. It's right down, right at the end. You couldn't really get any further.
Right.
Yeah, little break. My one
And
holiday for the year.
how long are you away for?
It'll be 6 days altogether.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great to get away. It's a lovely part. It's a lot
Yeah.
hotter down there as well, isn't it?
Yeah, although I did get caught in the rain
Oh,
today.
did right? Okay.
I'll take the dog for a quick walk on the beach, and it was really nice. And then suddenly, which is what you get on the coast, isn't it? It's very changeable, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
beautiful here.
but it's very nice to get away. Do you know what?
Mm,
We're all running hard to stand still just now, aren't we? I mean,
yes.
I have had one of the biggest, busiest weeks of my life this week,
Mm,
and I look back at it and I think, how productive was I, and what was I actually doing? But I know I never had a minute.
mm. Yeah,
You
I
know,
know what that feels like.
yeah. I mean, you must find that. I mean, social media in itself is a blessing and a curse, isn't it? I mean, it really is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's what's allowing this to
Mm,
happen just now. It's responsible for the creation, technically, of a movement and the pulling together of when events are happening. Stand in the Park couldn't really have started without social media, could it? You
no
know?
way near as effectively. It would have been, a very, very, very slow process of word of mouth, I think.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, this is how it all started, was on social media. That's what got the word out.
yeah. So just for, I mean, there'll be viewers joining from different platforms as we go forward. So and anybody who's watching or anybody who can't make the live session that we're doing can actually watch the recording later. So there will be a recording of this as well that people can watch at a time that suits them. So this is technically between Awakened Pages, which is an online directory for awakened consumers to be able to find awakened businesses, and everybody has their own interpretation of what awakened means, but we kind of live under that banner, and I think everybody knows what we're talking about there. And a stand in the park, and the fact that we are quite similar in many ways in that there is good energy in our groups. We are solutions driven. We're trying to find answers, and it's all about people power in the end, isn't it? People, you
Yes.
know, people connecting, people getting
Mhm.
together. Now, lots of people know you. I know you do a lot of really good lives. I've tuned into quite a few of them now myself. Can you, for the benefit of people who might not have seen any of your lives, and some of our members might not have been to Stand in the Park before, there's certainly a lot of interest there, and we want to get them over. But can you give a bit of the background on how you get involved in Stand in the
Mhm.
Park and your story with your contact in Australia and all of that?
Yeah, sure. So, a stand in the park was actually started in Sydney, in Australia, at the end of summer last year by an old friend of mine, Brady Gunn. We'd met traveling in India, and we went off to Pakistan together and had just crazy adventures back in, it was like 2006. And yeah, we'd kind of lost contact in the last few years, and there was just, one of these synchronistic things where he popped up on Facebook, which I wasn't even really on at that point. I was on there incognito as a member of one group, and it obviously remembered me, and his profile popped up, and oh my god, it's Brady. Let's see, what's going on with him. And there was just reams and reams of stuff calling out this whole thing, the scamdemic. And I thought, wow, I must get in touch again, because there were so few of us. that were actually seeing through this. And again, it's all about making those connections. So we got chatting, and he mentioned, you know, oh, I've been doing this thing, a stand in the park. He kind of played it down a lot, but at this point it had actually spread all the way across Australia. But when he started standing in his park in Sydney, in Hyde Park, he stood on his own for 3 months. Not another soul. He was questioning his sanity a lot of the time, but he was so just inspired to do something his thing, and that's what it was. So he stuck with it. Word got out, and like I said, it spread. So it got across to New Zealand, Canada, and he just said, oh, what, you know, would you want to get one going over in Blighty? And it was exactly the kind of thing that I was looking for. Again,
no coincidences, eh?
Never. It was absolutely everything it was, everything he was standing for, everything it was about just chimed. So I agreed to put, you know, yes, I'll nominate my park, and I didn't actually realise what I would be doing. I set up a Facebook group, put it out there. I did advertise on various freedom groups in the UK, and it just went boom. It literally hasn't stopped since then. So yeah, we're at over 700 parks participating now in the UK. That's since February.
Could you turn your speaker down a wee bit at that end of the volume, because I think I'm sort of feedbacking. There's a slight feedback loop there. So can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. Is that any better?
I think so. I think it's gone now.
Okay, just tell me if it needs.
No, that's fine, as long as you can hear me. 700 standing parks, that's incredible.
Yeah, that's at last count. I haven't actually counted for a little while. I need to do that when I get back from my holiday, because it takes quite a lot of time now to count them all.
And how many members do you think there are?
I mean, there are going to be thousands. It's very difficult to gauge, because, you know, I don't actually know how many people, unless somebody's, you know, they're posting to social media how many there are of them gathering. It's hard to know. There are some really big groups, like the one on the Isle of Wight, for example. They regularly have over 100 people, and there are others, actually, I just can't remember off the top of my head, but there are some other real whoppers. And then you've got, you know, some really kind of far-flung places where there's maybe a little handful, but it's not, I'm always saying, it's not actually the quantity, it's the quality of the connections that are being made. I mean, it's wonderful to have huge numbers, of course, but that's not the measure of a successful stand necessarily.
Yeah, and the groups that I'm in, I'm getting that feedback loop again. That's interesting. Do you know what it might be? Your Facebook might be open, and the live stream's coming through that as well. Maybe
it's not open. No,
no other tabs open.
No, this is the only one I've got open. So,
okay,
and
that's
my
fine.
phone is off. So
no, that's fine. Okay, it might be just the way.
I can hear you fine.
Can you? Okay, it just seemed to be coming through. Okay, that's fine. So, do you know what's interesting? I love standing apart. Lately, I've been doing a lot of things with my wife and the kids, and we do take my wife and I do take the kids, and we go to standing apart. But lately, we've been doing some other stuff, and we've missed a few. But we were there at the weekend there, and it was great to see them all again. And it is amazing. I'm going to be very honest with you. At the start, when I saw standing apart, I personally thought, and I'm saying this out loud, and there's a happy ending to this story. I thought to myself, stand in the park, it's just lame. I thought it doesn't do anything. Where's it going? And then I attended a few, and I've seen the momentum, and I've seen the love, and I've seen the good energy, and it's one of the best things I've seen. Not one of the lamest things. It's the furthest thing from lame. You know, you get some people who are in the sort of protesting side who like the boots on the ground, let's storm the castle. And because, I mean, I would imagine you would see that, Fee. Would I be right in saying that some of the sort of hardcore element, and I know you are a protester as well. I mean, Stand in the Park is a protest, but you also attend the rallies in London and things like that as well, don't you?
I do. We do. You know, the standers make up a big number of people going to
Absolutely.
a protest, but we're not actually a protest group in that sense. If yeah, it's hard to. A stand in the park is quite difficult to really define, because Brady often says we stand for nothing, therefore we stand for everything. So
Yep.
we've got every kind of person attending a stand, everyone's welcome. So you know, there are a lot of activists who you know, this is where they're getting together and coming up with brilliant protest plans, that, you know, whatever it is they're doing. But so a stand in the park is like the hub, really. It's the meeting point. But we don't actually protest or demonstrate, other than, yeah, if there is a rally or something like that. But again, it's because we're marching for freedom. It's a very broad church. So you do have people, the lame accusation has been thrown around a few times by people who don't really understand what purpose the stands are serving. But actually, there are so many actions and things going on outside of the actual Sunday morning stand, where standers are coming together and going off to do these different things. But it's not in the name of a stand in the park, because a stand in the park is literally the stand on a Sunday morning where people are coming together, they're connecting, they're building that community, they're standing for their own personal reasons. Yeah, and we kind of encompass everything, every aspect of the freedom movement, to be honest. You'll meet everybody there. Yeah. Stand.
Well, I've really enjoyed all the times that I've had. We've got a great little group in Perth, and I've got an interesting story to tell you, actually. Can you hear me okay? Yeah?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Yeah. Yeah, and coincidentally today, now our group, Awaken Pages, I mean, that is there, as I said, to connect awakened consumers with awakened businesses. I think the time has come for you, and you and I have chatted about this. You and I have recently been introduced through Jacqueline Dunn, I think it was, who made the connection. And Jacqueline's great, isn't she?
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, she's amazing, and she's a real. She's a real firecracker as well, isn't she? I mean, their speech in London at Trafalgar Square, that last one, it was spot on. It was right on the money. Yeah, so she's great. She's doing some great work. We're all in for flack, though, aren't we? I mean, everybody pops their head up, you know.
You can't avoid it.
Yeah, you can't avoid it, but you actually you get quite used to it. But yeah, you're in for a bit of flack anyway. But yeah, so our group's about this, you know. It's the time has come to stop. We're all trying to fight back here, and we've got Amazon and Tesco and McDonald's and Starbucks, and we're handing our hard-earned money to these guys who don't pay tax, who pay their workers minimum wage, who don't treat them well, who don't really value our custom, who chase us out the door and track and trace us out the door. And in reality, we've got local awakened businesses or national awakened businesses trying to survive with some of the most difficult trading conditions that the UK has ever seen. Now, so the time has certainly come for us to say we want to withdraw our financial support for that old system and to take our money, which is sizable, and to put it into supporting our own and circle the wagons around our own business. Now, very interestingly today, and I'm going to just share the screen if that's okay.
Yeah.
Now our website's called Awaken Pages. I'll just quickly show this for the benefit of your members, and we'll flip back and forward to the sort of story of Stand in the Park versus, you know, what we do. So our homepage, if you like, says it's time for our great reset. Now, I think most people would understand. For you know what we're talking there. I think anybody who's what we would class as awakened understands what it's time for our great reset is. And then it says where awakened customers find awakened businesses. And then you have this image in the middle. And that's kind of you've got the happy, smiling face of Stand in the Park in the yellow. And that's the brand, that's the recognizable brand of what you do. And I suppose the recognizable brand of what we do is this kind of imagery where we're basically saying every single one of us, in the same way as Brady stood on his own in that park, and he stood for nothing, but he stood for absolutely everything. Okay. And he protested himself, he stood up himself, he stood in his truth, he stood in his flame, and he basically got out there, and look what happened as a result of him standing up. Look at he could have gave up after month one, standing there himself, still after month one, nobody there, thinking he's mad, questioning himself. We don't even need to go through that. Each of us has access to our own money, and we decide where that money goes. And if we stop paying BBC en masse today, because it's the right thing to do, then BBC and this government will feel it. They certainly will feel it.
Yeah.
And if we stop paying Amazon, Tesco, Asda, McDonald's, Starbucks, Airbnb, Deliveroo, and all of these soulless corporations, who do not value our custom and who do not value their customers, and it's not ethical from a karma point of view to buy stuff that's been made in China by some underage kid who's getting buttons to work in horrible conditions, and we can sleep at night. You know that story exists. We've got wonderful businesses that we can support ourselves. Now, interestingly, we had a new listing, a new business came onto our directory. Very, very interesting name. It's a company called Tatty Bogles Deli and Grocery.
Very Scottish, isn't it?
It's very Scottish. Now, Tatty Bogles means scarecrow in Scottish, incidentally, for people who know.
It.
Okay. Now this was a directory, and I'm just going to put this up to full screen here, just so that people can see this, and then you and I come back in a second. So basically, that's a free listing on our page. So, fed up with soulless supermarkets and antisocial shopping, shop the old-fashioned way at Tatty Bogles. An old-fashioned grocers, Whole Foods by weight. Bring your own containers, fill up on dry goods, organic. So you can bring your container and fill your own shampoo. You get an organic shampoo that's usually more expensive, but when you factor it all back in and what you're getting and the quality of what you're getting, you're actually getting extremely good value for money. Now, amazingly or not amazingly, this company, they don't go to protest. They're not in any groups, but she's absolutely and utterly wide awake, totally wide awake. And she was introduced to us by a member of the local Stand in the Park in Falkirk.
Oh, it's great.
Who walked in and basically realised that they were dealing with, awakened people in our game. When you're dealing with another awakened person, it takes us about 5 seconds to figure it out.
Bit of a wink.
And we're desperate to bring the conversation round to that side anyway. So basically, so she introduced her to us. She joined straight away and she took a free listing.
Amazing.
That listing there is free. Every single awakened business in the UK can have one of them. And every Stand in the Park person potentially knows a business owner who could go onto this directory in exactly the same way.
Definitely.
Now, interestingly, my best friend in the world lives in Falkirk, and he did not know this business existed. And see, when I told him, I absolutely made his week. He was jubilant, is a word I would use to describe it. He was absolutely, because he realised that he could take some of his spend away from tech. It's hard to stop shopping at Tesco and Amazon. It takes a bit of effort.
It does.
We need to know where to go. And really, the point of this story is Stand in the Park made that magic happen. That person going in and having that conversation, and that business at Tatty Bogles had the common sense to realise that free marketing to the awakened community, to our community, to be able to advertise for free to our lot, who are the most loyal, loving customers who could walk in your door, okay? They will make your day. They'll make your pub a better place. They'll make your cafe a better place. They are dying to stuff money in your till, absolutely dying to do it.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, and this is the challenge that we've got. Everybody in the UK should be part of Stand in the Park, and every business in the UK.
That would be good.
Yeah, they should. Everybody in the UK who's awakened should be part of Stand in the Park. Why would they not be? There's unless they don't like getting up early on a Sunday.
There are a few of those, but
there are a few of those.
Good training.
well, I sometimes, and this is why I think there's a strong connection, Fee. And tell me what your thoughts are on this. This is why I think there's a strong connection between what Stand in the Park do and what we do. I often say, and I love the energy of Stand in the Park, and I often say to people, where do the people of Stand in the Park go when they're not standing in the park? You know, where do they go for some breakfast on a Thursday morning? You know, where do they go for a pint on a Friday night? Where do they go? Where do they take their kids? What fun activities and, you know, soft play, trampolines, you know, local playgrounds, you know, where are the facilities and places that they go? Okay. And where do they go for a meal on a Saturday night with their wife or their friends, you know? Because we need to spread out from Stand in the Park and start to go and support so that we're all meeting up. There's more. If that 1 hour or 2 hours and the other ways that Stand in the Park meet up and network with each other, then they can communicate to other people throughout the UK, and we can be bringing that good energy to lots more businesses. But people see it. The people who are awake and not enjoying the energy of this stuff that's going on just now, they'll see a bit of normality, a bit of the old normal. We'll talk about old normal and what that means, but they'll see a bit of the old normal, a bit of smiling faces, a bit of that good energy, and it might be enough to make them just see sense in some of the positions that they're maybe taking, and some of the anger and the negative energy and the fear that's out there. So as I said, there's no coincidences, and it's about, you know, back to that image of the man standing up and saying no. You know, I'm going to stand and I'm going to, every pound is a protest pound. We sometimes say every single pound, but right now, Fee, you and I would spend every pound we've got on awakened businesses if we could.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, and I think most people in the UK would say that, who are awake. But where do they go now?
Exactly.
This is where Stand in the Park as a network already know. You guys have sussed out where the places are, I'm sure. In the same way as that girl in Falkirk, with her radar, her awakened radar is working well. She walks in, she sees a place, she loves the look of it, she talks to the owner, she susses them out in 2 seconds, and she makes a connection. And then she sells an idea to them. Next minute they're on. Next minute more people can find them. And I often say to people, if you're a Stand in the Park person going on holiday to Scotland or Manchester or a different area that you're not in, you have an easy way to find people that Stand in the Park and say, right, okay, on Sunday, I know I can go and find some people and I'll be completely welcome. But I arrive on Monday. So where are they on the Monday? Where are they on the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? You know, where are they before then? So if we could get the knowledge that you're and other networks and the Awaken networks have got, and suck that knowledge into this directory and get those businesses on there and other directories like us, and get the Awaken consumers using it, then we could have an economic counterpunch to this regime that we're facing. And I think they would feel it.
Yeah.
I really think they'd feel it.
They would,
You know?
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think there was some conversation. You and I had some conversation, Fee, on the run up to this about October and the concept of a freedom fortnight. Don't spend a penny on them. Nothing. Nothing. And I heard there's that good guy down in Bristol. Aaron, I think his name is. I need to get. I'm usually good with names. Do you know the guy with the tattoos? He's got the tattoo shop in Bristol. Very outspoken.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name, but yeah, I've seen him. Yeah.
He's a good guy, and he's stepping up. He's standing up to be counted. He's doing some great work, and he's pretty ballsy. He's pretty ballsy. I'll say that for him. And I watched a video of him the other day, and he said they're getting nothing for 2 weeks in October. We give them nothing. Now maybe it's the whole of October, but call it a freedom fortnight. Now, conceptually, the idea is very, very good. That is something we could agree to push out there and to bang the drum in our groups, to take advantage of social media and say, let's agree that we're not giving them any money. But then how do we find the places?
Exactly.
So you've got websites like ours, you've got contacts with your own network. So your people could say, I go here for my food, or go to this, but so they can start the buzz going within their communities over the next couple of Sundays and say, look, let's all eat there, let's all buy there, let's not go there, for talking's sake. Food's the big one, and I think
food
that's
probably the biggest thing, isn't it? That's
well. I'll tell you, I did a poll, and it was quite an interesting poll, and I asked our members at the very early stages, and I said, if you could, how much would you spend each month on awakened businesses, assuming you could get everything you want? And the answer was about 900 quid. Now, if there's 5 million of us, right?
It's a lot of money.
Call it, there's 5 million of us, but getting them, if there's 5 million of us, there should be 5 million people going to stand in the park. Now, the UK would notice 5 million people going to stand in the park, Fee.
They certainly would, yeah.
No, the parks would notice, the people would notice, everybody would notice. Now, but they're not all going to stand in the park for various reasons, and they're not all on my directory for various reasons, because we've got lethargy. We're sleeping as well. We're sleepwalking through this, and we need to snap to attention because time is not on our side. But let's say 1 million people spent 900 quid a month. That's 900 million. That's almost
a phenomenal amount of money.
It's £1 billion a month. Now, we could be putting that into awakened tills every month, and the will is there. The people want, and the million people, because we can get 1 million people to go to a march. Fee, I bought stuff today. I bought a couple of wee things today. I bought shampoo, and I bought a wee tea strainer thing, and I bought some CBD tea. I'm going to try soon. CBD tea. But there was loads of things that I could have, but I'm going back anyway. So but I'm going to buy more. At the end of the day, we are desperate to spend our money in these places. We just need to find them. So do you think that idea of a freedom fortnight, where we bang the drum between now and we say, because the 1st of October is a Friday, and you've got a Friday, so you get your first sort of weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 1st of October. Everybody's paid on that Friday. And all these companies that usually get our money, the pubs and all the rest of it, they usually get our money. But what happens if an awakened pub got our money that weekend?
Yeah.
Not the pub that lets you in but doesn't really welcome you.
Yeah.
Not Tesco.
Oh, definitely not.
Not Amazon. Not the things, so breaking those habits. The problem is we're creatures of habits, aren't we? We're creatures of habit.
We're so used to convenience now. I mean, even, you know, just a few decades ago or less, it was very common or normal to just, you know, you would have the greengrocers, you would have the butchers, if you eat meat, you would have, you know, and you would go to these different places. But this thing about everything under one roof, the price is often kind of artificially low. There can be no real competition for smaller businesses. So people, you know, they're under time pressure, they're under financial pressure, and we've all been conditioned into becoming almost completely dependent on systems that are just completely corrupt, completely unethical, immoral. They're not there to serve us. They're there to serve themselves and the agendas, you know, behind all of these big corporations. And it is definitely about breaking the habit and tapping into that energy where you actually feel really good when you're buying, when you're in the place, because it's a lot more personal, and you know that you're supporting, decent, awakened people who are on your wavelength. It's all about the energy, and if people can get into that habit, they're not going to want to go back to these soulless corporations that are just there to take.
I totally agree. And the reason that the food is so cheap, because a lot of it's frozen, you know, fresh fruit and stuff. It's not fresh fruit, it's been
Oh, it's
frozen, and
awful stuff.
it's really, really bad. And I
Chemical.
looked at stuff today, back to that tatty bogles. I'll just put that up on screen again. I mean,
Mm,
I looked at the all of these vegetables today in that display. Amazing colours. Just
mm.
it was
All
and
different shapes as well, and
different
as they
shapes.
should be.
And you're buying stuff and you get it in a wee brown bag and everything just feels better. I mean,
Yeah.
we need some food. This is why people go for comfort food. This is comfort shopping.
Mm.
We're talking about
Yes.
comfort consuming here. You know,
Mm.
you think comfort foods, McDonald's. I'm telling you, go and spend a little bit more in these shops. Go to an awakened bar and let the guy know that you're awake and he's awake. And do you know what? There'll be people behind that bar wearing a mask. Who cares?
Mm.
I don't care.
Mm.
That's up to them. That's up to them. You know, and there'll be people in that bar. I just want I want me and my family and my friends to feel welcome, and I want to know that my money's going to a good place. And as long as my money's going to a good place, that's comfort consuming for me. You
Mm.
know,
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely businesses that are, you know, there are certain things that to keep operating, they have to kind of toe the line to a certain extent. And but once you kind of pick up on quite quickly that actually they're not enforcing anything or on their customers, they just have to give the impression that they're playing along.
that that, that's a incredibly important point, and I talk about
Mm,
this. It's like a commercial compliance.
yes,
Yeah. Um,
yeah.
I used to be in the mortgage game, and I would say here's the opposite actually. Um, what you have commercial compliance means you're dancing up to the line of compliance and you're just
Hmm.
doing enough to get
Yeah,
away with it and keep
literally just, yeah.
literally dancing up to the line. No one could say
Hmm.
that you're out of order. And what we say, we don't say anything in our directory. I'm not say,
Mm,
I'm basically saying you're an awakened guy, you're a smart guy. Your interpretation of these rules is
mm,
fine by me, because if I'm happy to give my awakened custom to you, then that's good enough for me.
mm.
I might say I'm happy with that business. I don't need 100 pubs to go to. Give me 2 or 3 pubs
Mm.
and cafes. I'll spend all my money there. I don't need a million places to go to. You know,
Exactly.
none of us
Yeah.
do. A handful
No.
of places in every town,
Mhm.
and this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm trying to say to these business owners. This is a gold rush for you. This economy, this awakened
Yes, I
pound.
was just thinking this
It's a
just
gold rush.
before we were speaking. I was
Yeah,
thinking, my God, you know, they could actually,
they can
if
clean up.
somebody actually comes out, you know, and admits, yes, I'm awakened and I'm not
Yeah,
doing this, that, and the other to comply. When people know that,
Yeah.
They will be so loyal. They will rush. You know, I said to you before, I would happily travel if I know about somewhere where they're awake, even if they've got nothing that I actually need. The fact that they are awake and out there, I will. That's just fine. I will go and support them because of that. And I know a lot of other people feel the same.
But this is what I'm saying, and that's why I used that Tatty Bogo. It's a brilliant example, and it's such coincidence. Today, as I said, it happened yesterday. The website went live, or the day before, and I thought that's great. And I didn't know how they got onto until I visited them today. I go and find out today that it's a stand in the park person who introduced them.
Small world, yeah.
But the amazing thing is, and this is also out there, and this is why it is a people's game. Up the stairs, you get up those stairs. I'm busy in a meeting. Unbelievable, that boy. Yeah. The business owner is too busy surviving, Fee. She's not in groups. I met her today, wide awake. She is not happy with any of it, and I'm not going to go into too much. Our shop is very visitable for an awakened person, but anybody else would just go in and do their own stuff. It's up to them. Yeah. For an awakened person, an amazing experience, absolutely amazing. But she's not in any groups. She doesn't go to stand in the park. How do we connect with her? It took someone from your organisation, your network, to make that connection. Because other than that, she wouldn't have known about us. And now I've connected her with about 15 different customers for free. For free.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
And we could have this done. We could have this done overnight, and it's back to, and I say this, as I said, where do the beautiful people that stand in the park go when they're not standing in the park? That's my litmus test. Where would you guys go? Because when you are standing in the park, there's that lovely, great energy there of people all talking and having fun and being normal. Okay. And then you all split up and go your different ways. But if 3 of you go that way and go to probably a business that you've selected for all the right reasons.
Oh, you've frozen, Steve. Can you hear me?
I'm here.
You're back.
I'm here. Yep, I'm back. Okay, right. Yeah. So you know where the businesses are, and as I said, look, where do you go when you're not standing in the park? And that's almost like a little mantra for this strategy. How do we?
And also, Steve, there are so many standers that don't have anywhere to go. They're in the same predicament. They want to know, and where do they go to find out? So we kind of, people they share, in the Telegram groups and things that, go here if you want a nice pub or whatever, where you're not hassled, or I had a conversation and the landlord was really awake. But those things do kind of get lost without something like you're doing, where it's all kind of there and you could just click on to whatever it is you're looking for. And if we can just get it growing and growing and growing, that's half the struggle, half the battle is people are so busy, so stressed, just trying to survive. The idea of having to go and look and research and, all over the place to find alternatives, on top of everything else, even the most enlightened person to all of it, they're still going to end up nipping down to Sainsbury's or something because they don't know.
And we've looked at things like, and I spoke to this girl today. Again, she's a little small organic grocer, but she deals with an organic wholesaler. Now, he may or may not be awake. I would probably bet, she says the guys who come in to deliver for this company come in with no masks on it. So he might be awake, but it's a big wholesaler. Now she buys off him like organic tins of beans, organic tins of soup, all of that kind of stuff. And I said to her, well, look, if our members come, because there is an efficiency drive here. This is, I mean, it's about creatures of habit and it's about money. Okay.
Yeah.
But let's look at organic versus non-organic. There's a difference in price when you go to Tesco anyway. So can we get close to supermarket pricing? Because I think, Fee, in the same way as you'd travel for, you've hit the nail on the head, actually, and you said you'd travel even if you didn't need anything, just to support. Right? So you'd put petrol in your car, you'd take your time out your busy life, and you'd go and support and put money in a business's till for a product that you didn't necessarily need, just to be seen to support them. But what about the products that we do need, like the food and all the rest of it, and the meals and the coffees and all the other things that we need to do to keep our high streets and our local villages and towns and keep the fabric of society going? You know, look at these towns. They're going to turn into ghost towns. We could breathe some life into them.
They already are. They already are.
Now, I said to this girl, if someone came into you and said, I want to buy 3 cases of your organic soup, can they get a discounted price? And she said, yeah. So we might have to buy slightly more off her. You might go to Tesco because they've got a huge warehouse and they've squeezed the guy down to nothing in their pricing. So you can buy 3 cans of soup, organic soup off Tesco. You might need to buy 3 cases off this girl to get close to the same price, but you're going to use it anyway.
That's what I do, actually. I've been doing that for years. And I think, a lot of this, it's about conscious consuming. So I'm not talking about people that are on the breadline and even having the cheapest food is a struggle, because that's the case for a lot of people. So, we don't want to be kind of excluding that as being an issue. But for people who have got, again, it's all about the conditioning, going into Tesco's or Sainsbury's, wherever, where they've had psychologists working out the layouts, 100%. All the price deals, the bargain, blah, blah, blah. So you end up buying way more than you need.
100%.
There's a lot of stuff. So it's actually about, okay, so for example, I do not have much money. I really don't. So for me to go and support somebody who's awake, that means, okay, then I'm going to have to go without XYZ, which isn't as much of a priority for me. And there's always something, even when you don't have that much money, there are always things that we're spending money on that's a bit unconscious, that, oh, well, just grab that, or, oh, well, that special offer's on, and it all seems like a great idea, but actually you're buying more than you need. And it's just, I think the conscious consuming is a big part of this as well. So you might be buying less, but it's really good quality stuff.
That's it, and just maybe be a bit more frugal, and probably, and the viewers watching, some of you know, you're probably might be overweight. I'm not, Fee, they could be sitting there. You know who I'm talking to. You're out there. You're consuming too much. You're taking on too much. You could maybe do with paying a bit more and eating a bit less and spending a bit less and wasting a bit less. Throwing a bit less in the bin. We probably throw 20% of the stuff we buy in the bin and it goes off in our fridge anyway.
There's so much waste, and that is a byproduct of having things so cheap. That it's not respected. I mean, we throw things away that our grandparents and great grandparents would be absolutely horrified. It was just not something that people did. We didn't have all this disposable, these commodities that you just, oh well. And I hold my hands up. I've been the same myself in the past. I have, and it's only when I got into, ethical consuming, and this was years ago, becoming an ethical shopper and starting off from there, that I changed my habits, and I did start looking at, well, what am I actually buying? Do I need that? And what are these impulses, that have been kind of fed to you that you don't even question? You find yourself, oh, that's a good deal, and actually that money, if you worked it out over the weeks, you could have spent that on a really good quality, ethical, organic, you know, whatever it is, item. And that's what it's about. We have got the control. We do have the power with our pounds. We just need to be a bit more conscious about how we're spending them.
And that kind of conscious thing is really the word, isn't it? You know, you've got to, and this is why probably it needs. And there's no complaints from me. I accept that the awakened people are still sleepwalking to a certain extent. You know, we are. You know, we're awakened, but we're feeding Jeff Bezos and Amazon, and we're getting deliveries every day. We're awakened, but we're buying Johnson and Johnson products and rubbing them on our hair. The same people who make vaccines and the same people who run these companies who we don't like, but we're giving them all our money anyway. You know, we have to sort of stop the bus and say, right, okay, how are we going to push back here? All assets deployed. If we're going to do everything that we can now in the belly of the beast where we are free, and we are in the belly of the beast, make no mistakes about it. Now, this is a war against the people in many ways.
It is.
That you're actually facing, and we are in the belly of the beast, and we don't have time on our side to say, well, let's do this over the next 3 years, and I'm just going to keep it. You know, I spoke to a really good guy, Clive DeCarlo, last night. I think you know Clive DeCarlo,
yeah,
don't you?
he's got, I don't know him personally, but I've been watching his videos and listening to his talks for quite a while now. He's great.
Yeah, he's very, very good. He's very, very good. Actually, somebody's just put up a wee comment here, and I'll just post it up here. I could do with a good awakened butchers instead of the shit Tesco sale. That is the point, though. If you buy, and what we're kind of saying is, until we get all our ducks lined up in a row and we have everything that you need, if you can't find it on awakened pages or against vaccine passports or awakened travel or any of the awakened directories where we're basically under the banner of people on the same page, buy local, go to your local butcher. And in October, if we're going to do this in October, this 2 weeks freedom fortnight, whatever we want to call it, go to that local butcher. I bet you become one of his best customers, and I bet you he welcomes you in with open arms, with your big, lovely, smiling face, and doesn't. And if he does have a problem, don't give him the money. If he makes you, if he make, but okay. So now it's a bit longer, and I used this example last night when I was talking to Clive DeCarlo, and I said, you know, why, you know. Is it the right? Okay, so you can buy your wife's birthday gift on Amazon in 2 clicks. What kind of thoughtful? So that's how thoughtful you are. That's how good a person you are. That it took you 2 seconds to have a brown box delivered from Amazon to your door. Click, click, done. Okay. Why not pick up the phone and talk to someone and say, this is a wee secret word that we've got between ourselves, and I want you to make a necklace for it, and somebody commission somebody to do it who's awake and talk. I've got a lovely jeweler in our business, in our directory. She makes all her own stuff. She hammers it and smelts the silver, and you see her. It's amazing. She makes some amazing pieces. You know, people could have, and you could have a 20-minute conversation, get something that you couldn't possibly buy on Amazon. You couldn't possibly get the same thing on Amazon. And it's a bit of thought and a conversation and a bit of love and soul put into it, and that to a certain extent is what is missing. So if you can't get it from the awakened directories which are available, and you can't use your network at Stand in the Park, and no one from Stand in the Park knows anybody who's awakened, you know, you say, I need a plumber. This is a good example. I need 450 plumbers in my directory to have a plumber in each area in the UK.
Yeah,
but the UK is, I mean, arguably I need 1,600 plumbers. And then
they're out there. They are out
there. They're out there, but I need them on, you know, because and this is what I'm saying. This is why it's a gold rush, because if you had them on, The first plumber in Liverpool gets all the business. Do you think when the second plumber comes on, they're going to phone him? No, the first one is the guy they phone. They're going to phone him again and again and again and again, and they're going to recommend him to their friends and their stand in the park friends and all the rest of it. So I'd ask the business owners to wake up and smell the coffee and say that we need you. We want to stuff our money in your pockets. So come and get it. It's here for you.
Yeah.
And I think it would be good if we could work together and with other groups to say, look, can we have a concerted effort to take our local knowledge and spread it out to everybody and make sure that there's an effort, as I said, all assets deployed. There's protests, there's petitions, we're serving teachers. There's people are speaking out in social media. Everybody's got different. We're all trying a lot of different things. I personally, having looked at this and been involved in it, and looked at the stand in the park thing as well, this networking of people and people's knowledge, but digitizing people's knowledge for ease. So if you took all the stand in the park members and said, name all the pubs and cafes and that you've found, I've got my directory right there.
Yeah.
And if I took that and I put it into this online place, now these awakened people in all these groups who are not going to stand in the park suddenly can find the places that you guys have already sussed out, and you can find the places that they've already sussed out as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're technically building a Google to make it easy, because it's still not easy.
That's what it's about, is making it easy, to get this really off the ground and happening. Like I said, people are so pushed for time, they're in survival mode.
Yep.
And if we can make it easy, look, with a couple of clicks you can find this, then that's how we can kind of get this spread, really. Make it easy for people, so there isn't the excuse, well, I don't have time, I don't, because people, like you said, people are desperate to find these places. It's just that if they're going to have to research and look for hours and hours on end, but when they just don't have the time, they've got all these other things pressing on them.
Yeah, and it's getting worse for us as well, Fee. I mean, think about what we used to do 2-3 years ago. You could meet up with 5-10 of your pals. You could go absolutely anywhere you wanted, to any town you wanted. You could walk into any bar you wanted with your smiling, happy faces. I'll tell you right now, you can't walk into a lot of bars. Can you hear me okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
You and I and a group of 9 friends, we are not welcome in a lot of places. So 2 years ago, there was no excuses for the bar owner. If we were drunk, they might have said, you're not coming in.
Sure. Yeah.
If we didn't have any apprehensions going to the door of a bar. They were delighted to see us, and we were delighted to be. We just felt we were going to be welcomed. We expected to be welcomed. Why wouldn't we be? Now, 10 of us, and we're all confident people, we would have apprehensions about that, because there's very few bars who would want 10 of us walking in the way we like to walk in, Fee. They'd be worried what their other customers would think and all the rest of it. So we need places to socialise. And as you move towards this passport agenda, which is coming, these cafe owners are going to have to think very, very seriously about where they want to be when all the chips fall. Because ultimately, you're either going to be, I think, and this is all about consent, you're either a passport cafe or you're not. Now, if you're not, I think you'll attract both sides of the fence. But if you are, you're only going to attract one. And to be a cafe owner who's like us, an awakened cafe owner who jumps the fence and says, I'm going to be a passport cafe, well, you need the passport as well, my friend. And you and your staff and your wife and your kids who work for you, you all need the passport. So you know what you have to do to get that passport? Do you want to? Is that so? Let them see what the awakened economy is worth to them now. Let them see that the awakened pound is strong.
Awakened economy, yeah, I like that.
You know, but let them. It is strong. They could survive. They will. They will get both sides. I don't want to. Don't get me wrong. The thought of an awakened pub, just awakened people doing what we want, is heaven on earth. But I don't think it's right for the UK. I'd like to see the blended bars. I'd like to see the blend, because we've all been placed in this unfortunate position. But if somebody wants to wear a mask, I don't have a problem with that. That's up to them. You know, and if they want to take medical experimentation on themselves, that's really up to them. But
yeah, as long as they're not pushed, that's their choice. As long as we're not being judged for not doing that.
And or hated, and I don't hate him, and I could still be friendly with the guy in a blended bar, because we are the community of non-division. The government wants division. The government have made
that's entirely it.
And lots of people want division. The amount of people are saying, yeah, they shouldn't have jobs, and they shouldn't be allowed to access the NHS, and they shouldn't be allowed to travel. People are saying that about us, Fee. It's disgusting. But a lot of people don't feel that way. And those people would gravitate towards awakened, blended places where you don't need a car. I think that no matter what, they cannot stop these bars from trading. I think it's all a game. I think lots of them will go down that route and they'll make a mistake, because I think even the sleepers, as you might call them, I think eventually they'll say, do you know what? See that bar? It's just not worth going to, because I can't be bothered with all those people and all that. It's like the cool kids have left the scene, if that makes sense. You know, it's like when we all used to gate crash parties when we were young, and then we left and gate crashed somewhere else. The party wasn't as good anymore.
The party's moved on.
Yeah, that's it. The party's worthless. So the cool kids have left the room. So at the end of the day, are they going to want to go to these? Lots of people have created little bars in their garden.
I know. One of my good friends has one, and it's absolutely amazing. We were there the other night. It's brilliant.
But the awakened and the non-awakened, for whatever way you want to call them, both sides have got access to these places. So the bars are competing against these garden places. Now, if you want to turn if you want to seriously turn a bar into a soulless passport bar, I don't think you will survive. I do not think you
won't. Yeah, even like you say, even the people who are going along with everything, they're the believers, they still pick up on energy and environment. And you know, when we put on things called summer super stands, which is a stand in the park, but it's kind of like an afternoon event, and it's for the whole county to come together, all the different stands in a county. And we had one in my park, St Albans, and we had Jam for Freedom there, who are amazing. They're touring bands, all you know, freedom fighters, brilliant. So we had this whole, you know, big picnic and all the balloons and flags and the music, and so many people came by with the masks on, and they were drawn. They could see us all having a great time, and they were asking, "Oh, what's going on? Is it all right if we join?" Yes, come on over, because it's that normality. People, you know, it's suddenly, oh look, well, what's there to be frightened of? Actually, these are all good people, clearly having a good time, being very welcoming, and that kind of breaks down the again, it's the conditioning that's been, the brainwashing that people have been subjected to, when they actually are faced with happy, normal people, and we're not these awful terrorists that are trying to kill people with our complacency.
Granny killers.
Really interesting. Yeah, they were just, they couldn't help themselves. It was great.
But that's kind of my point. And so think about it. The government's basically saying to you and I that we might not be able to go into a pub unless we've got this medical experiment
Yeah.
in us. Okay, but if a cafe or a bar or a restaurant takes the opposite position, then I can go there. But that restaurant's not going to say to anyone who has had the jab,
No,
you can't come
you're
in.
not. No,
So
no, that's not the
we're not.
answer.
So that pub is taking the moral high ground for this country. That pub is taking the right position because they're not discriminating against anybody. And you know what? See if it only fills up with awakened people, non-jabbed awakened people, then good. But if it's a mix of the two, it'll be the best place in town because the passport pubs can't compete with it. They can't compete.
No.
Because their starting point, the karma of being divisive and discriminatory is not a good starting point for what is meant to be a place of leisure, a place where you're going to have fun. You can't start with those bad vibes, so they can't win.
No,
and
true.
if you think about the way the high streets are and pubs, you've got a pub on one side and a pub on the other. And I think both pubs are going to be able to trade. And I think we're going to be over here and we're going to be having a ball. And we're going to be having a ball in a blended environment. There'll be mask wearers there because they feel safer. But they'll still be, and the mask wearers might throw caution to the wind and give us a kiss or a hug at the end of the night if we're lucky.
It happens. It does happen.
Maybe it happens, right? And maybe that's how we get back to something that resembles normal. I don't know. But I think we want to show these cafes, bars and restaurants right now, what the awakened pound looks like. Let them see that they could survive. Let them see what the blended pound looks like as well. And let them see what taking the moral high ground looks like, because these guys do not want to turn into COVID passports themselves to run a COVID passport pub. And that's what they're going to be asked to do. Make no doubts about it. Absolutely. And I don't think they've came to that realization yet. And I think they're going to have to soon. Now, Fee, you've just arrived on holiday, and I didn't want to keep you too long tonight. So I know you're quite tired, and your boyfriend's arriving soon. That's us on the 1 hour mark. How are you feeling? Are you okay?
I can go on for a little bit longer.
Yeah, we'll talk a bit longer. Yeah, so I'm not going to keep you too long. So we'll chat for another 5 minutes, and we'll not keep the sort of viewers too long either, because they've got a limited sort of amount in their tank to offer us as well. I think we've covered a lot of good stuff. I think at a high level, what we're saying is the infrastructure of Stand in the Park is very, very well connected. There's a lot of you. The goodwill's there. The good people are there. You have yourself connected with all these groups, and they're listening. They're buying the T-shirt. Actually, I was going to put up something. One of the Stand in the Park.
Oh, yeah, I have actually got my.
Yeah, I'm buying one. Listen, and actually, the thing is, Fee, and I'm just going to put this up as well. One of the only ways that you guys keep the lights on is through the T-shirt sales. You don't do anything else.
It's literally no. I mean, I don't ask for donations or anything. Literally, we're all unpaid, obviously. And this is
you're working. Well, I saw there's lots of wee badges, and I like that wee hat. I do like that. I love those wee T-shirts. I would look horrible in that, but you're cutting a cool scene there. This little character is very, very happy. What's her name? Sam.
She's an absolute angel. She's just brilliant. I couldn't have done any of this without her.
No, this is this kind of thing. Been there, done that, bought the T-shirt. At the end of the day, this is one of the few ways that people can actually support. So I would say to the Stand in the Park people, buy the T-shirt. I'm definitely getting one. It helps keep your mindset in a good place, because you're helping making this happen. They can go to their work and earn a living, and go to stand in the park and enjoy the thing that you've actually created on a Sunday, and it's good for them. They're enjoying it, but it's taking you 70 hours a week to make the magic happen and keep it all alive, and push the messages out and keep building it. These things don't create themselves. It's a wonderful job that you've done. 700 parks with people like us in it in the UK. I absolutely tip my hat to you for what you've done there. So it needs to be supported in any way that it can, and they just email you, order the t-shirt.
Yeah, just order. You can get in touch and just say what you'd like, because obviously I need to make sure I've got the things in stock or whatever. It's quite straightforward, really. But the main thing is, like, it's getting the word out. I like that people do want to support financially, which is great, but I like that they've actually got a tangible, they've got something, they've got a t-shirt, they've got something there rather than just
it's a cool
handing
thing to
over
wear
money,
as well.
which is,
That's it. So they got something in return. It's good energy. It's an energy exchange, isn't it?
it is. If you don't want one, you don't have to have it. You're never going to be asked for anything, really. To be a member of Stand in the Park, it's just one of the ways to get the word out. They're very attention grabbing, like the yellow. People do look, especially the little shopper tote bags. I
They're
get
good as
so
well.
many looks, and people have asked and said, "Oh, what's this?" Is that they seem to be a bit of a conversation starter.
I actually thought they would be as well. I must admit, they do look quite good. These little bags here.
Yeah, I'm going to get some more photos done. Actually, it's it's all a bit
They
kind
do
of
look good.
rushed.
They are really good. And again, I suppose for your members as well. So I'd say to people, if you're not in a stand in the park, go. If you are in a stand in the park and you don't go as much as you could, then renew your vows and get down there and spread the love around, because the more the merrier. And invite your friends, get your awakened friends, grow it. If there was 5 million of us standing in the park every weekend, we could end this standing in parks. We really could.
I know, and the thing
People,
is, we're building communities, so
absolutely,
we've got those connections, and it is all about local connections and so we're shopping local. There's so many different initiatives that have sprung up from all these different groups in parks all around the country. Well, they're all around the world now. We're in Europe as well, in the USA.
yeah.
And that's what it's about. It is being we're all connected to each other, but obviously if the web went down or whatever, that kind of dependence on it, we've got people that we can physically connect with every week. That's very much a part of it as well. It's very much about meeting in the physical, and as you know, it's that, like going to the grocers yourself and being in the energy. It's completely different from just having an online conversation by text or whatever. So it's working on all different levels, really, but it is connections in the end.
Totally agree. And again, for any of your members as well, I'd say, we've got, if you're an awakened consumer and you want to support awakened businesses, then visit the webpage at awakenedpages.co.uk. Have a look. We've got some good stuff happening there. It's a good site. We've got some great businesses on there. Go on, have a play. Find someone. Lady Luck will throw up somebody that you are destined to. That's the way it works. You'll find the right business for the. If you're looking for an awakened cobbler in Wales, an awakened cobbler in Liverpool, I might not have that guy there today. But that's what we're trying to
But that
achieve.
awakened cobbler could be coming to a stand and now knows about, because I do know quite a few freelance workers, electricians, plumbers, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they need to know as well.
Well,
Advertise.
I would say this: every single stand in the park member who has a business, I would love to have them, even if it was. We've got a free listing there, which is perfect for most businesses, and we've got a couple of low-cost paid listings, which we do a lot of work to make really, really good. We do videos and we do little.
I've
We do
seen them. They're great. Yeah.
The videos are brilliant and they bring the business to life and they really work well. But that Tatty Bogle's page is a free listing. The free listing's top drawer. It's really good.
Yeah.
But the paid listings are superb, and we've got little videos, and they can put galleries of their work. If they're an artist, they can, people can sweep through their work. They can do their own video, or I'll do a video with them, a little infomercial. But anybody who's in Stand in the Park, any single member of Stand in the Park, we would love to have you on there on a free listing or any listing at all. We'd just love to have you on there because we'd love to support your business. We really want to support the businesses. And anybody who's in Stand in the Park or who's watching this and who wants to support awakened businesses, then we want to have the power of your awakened pound joining the strength and numbers of us all pulling together and harnessing that energy, harnessing this economic counterpunch back to these people and saying, if we could pull together during this Freedom Fortnight and say, how many of us stop paying BBC as well, and we make that make that the fortnight to stop talking about it and actually do it, and we could do a lot of economic damage for all the right reasons,
Yes, exactly.
But we're not going to damage our own experiences. If anything, we're going to have better experiences, So again, so both groups have got good energy. They've got good members. I would like to see some cross-pollination. If I've got members in my group, get over to Stand in the Park. Find your local Stand in the Park. Start your local Stand in the Park. The girl I spoke to today in the Falkirk Stand in the Park, she started the group, and she's absolutely brilliant. I've seen her in one of our groups for a while. So it's people power. This is pure people power now. If we really harness the energy and we galvanize and we point our energy in the right direction, then the world really is what we make it from here.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is. We do hold the power. It's just people don't quite realize that. But when they do, then it's a tidal wave.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Fee, I'm going to let you go and get on with the rest of your night, but it's been an absolute pleasure to chat. I've really enjoyed it. It's been really nice. I hope that people have enjoyed that and they'll all be flagging away and all the rest of it. But anyway, so people can watch the recording of that as well. And but it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you to anybody who watched and commented. It's been great. And thank you again to Fee for your time and for all the work that you do. Okay.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks, Steve.
All the best. Thank you.